Langley Speedway is a classic car show destination, late model stock car track, and short track talent hotbed, but it's also free content on iRacing.com and one of the Sim's hardest tracks to pass cleanly at. So how does that play into this season's iRacing Cars late model stock points battle? Well, we've got the answers coming up this evening, 50 laps on track coming up. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Langley Speedway. I'm Andrew Cardinal IV with Zach Murtis alongside, and with 4 rounds in the books, Zach, the series standings have tightened back up just a bit following a strong week at Five Flags for Ryan Kuhn, meaning Alex McCullum has to take notice and fire back with wins this week at Langley, and it's going to be a little tough when Alex McCullum is not in this first and most important race of the week. Of course, we cover these races, these specific splits of these races, Zach, because they are not only the first race of the week, but also the SOF race where all of these big cats come out and they run this particular time slot to load it up with better drivers, and that means better points because there's a higher I rating, a higher SOF, a higher strength of field for this race. So it's real interesting to not have Alex McCullum in the field this evening for this particular time slot. Ryan Kuhn on pole. Let's talk about our track map. First off, you can see Langley Speedway on your screen. Fastest late model stock time previously was at 14.695. It's set by James Linkovich. And, well, Zach, point standings, as I mentioned, they've tightened up. Now 136 back to Landon Rapp. Ryan Kuhn much closer in third. And you can see we've refreshed things with the car's late model stock tour colors. You've even got the club logos on screen. You can see where everybody's from. A lot of nice, cool things happening here, including that points battle.
Absolutely, and you can see that there are a few drivers that are on the points battle tonight that actually aren't here. Caleb Hall's not here tonight. Daniel Folds, Landon Rapp, Alex McCullum, your points leader. All of them not here tonight, and such vital points up for grabs when you've got guys like Ryan Kuhn who are sitting third in the points that could absolutely take advantage of everything going on tonight. And with a 15-car field, there's a lot of points to gain and a lot of points to lose.
Now, of course, they aren't necessarily out of it just because they are not in this particular split, or time slot, really, I should say. They may opt to use this week as a drop week, Zach. I mean, any number of things could go on here, and of course, Alex could just run the rest of the week and still get his points out of it, only lose a few maybe to Ryan Kuhn, even if Ryan wins and Alex finishes second or third or whatever. So these guys, of course, they have all week to get their races in. It's not just this particular split that they have to run, but it is still a little odd to me at the very least that we don't have Alex McCullum, Landon Rapp, or any of those guys in this race. And let's go ahead and meet your starting grid since we're talking so much about it. Actually, quickly, we'll take a look at the schedule. You can see Langley, round number 5, Southern National next week, then Martinsville, the first race under 50 laps of racing. We'll run 40 laps there at Martinsville on April 24th. But Ryan Kuhn on pole this evening. That's no surprise. Let's take a quick look through your grid of 15 cars. Car number 1, well, 72, whatever you want to call him. Ryan Kuhn on pole. David Lamb will start from second. Starting third, it's Evan C. in the 33 car. Justin Crow will start from 4th position. Justin Hazlitt, however, from 5th. Jackson Lewis from 6th. Josh Cottle, Josh Parrish, their row number 4. Robin Keneally, Tyler Cox in row 5. Trayton Lapsevich, Casey Beatty in row 6. Row 7, it's Logan Powers and Devin Landry, just ahead of Aaron Plemons in position 15. And just like that, we are racing at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway in Hampton, Virginia. Green flag for 50 laps. Lap 1 complete. And already Evan C. right down underneath contact there. We've got multiple bits of contact through the field. Lap number 1 and 2. David Lamb falling way back on this start. Zach already down to 5th spot. That number 4 car in the session, number 09 on the door. It's falling back quick. Here comes Keneally to the inside.
It's so difficult just to even keep track position here at Langley. The bottom, obviously, the fastest way around. Not much give and take up on the top side, so you really got to have a good handling race car if you want that car to be rotating on the top. And look at how close they are. Keneally getting the nose across the line up to V5. Evan C. goes purple, though, and just like that, the 09 is going to keep dropping on down the order. He has got to find a place to fall in line, and I think he will right behind the 20 car of Lapsevich.
A couple of cars staggered there into turn 3. Thought somebody was going around. As you can see, one of Doug Barnes' paints on the field. That is going to be Tyler Cox behind the behind the wheel of the number 6. as he rips around in the 10th position. One car staggers out. That's Aaron Plemons to the inside in car number 2. As far as iRating goes, Plemons, though, buried deep in the field here, Zach. Not at all like what we would expect, I think, to be 12th for car number 2 in the session.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt his iRating a lot if he can't get that track.
Oh!
Just a little bit of contact. It's at 14, a little loose. He's going to stick his nose down in there and drive it down deep onto the yellow line. Just so ever so close, getting so pinched, and so lots more contact. Aaron Plemons not giving anything as he's going to clear for that 11th spot, and that's more iRating on the board to be gained as he continues to work his way through the field. And he's definitely got a lot of laps to do it as the 14 of Powers continues to drop and make contact with all these drivers back here.
Landry now goes by Powers, that white 14 car falling further and further back. Up front, Evan C. took over second spot on lap number 1 and has set his sights all over the back end of the number 72 car. Nothing changing, though, in these top spots. Really, your top 6 or so holding steady as Evan C. continues to work here on Ryan Kuhn. And drivers, if you go back and watch this broadcast, you're watching live, we're on a different race this week. Take note that we do have some custom numbered tiles now populating on the ticker. You can send in your info to Pitstop TV on social media. In fact, we've got our social media links here on the screen. You can send in your info. We can get your number if you want. So Ryan Kuhn, if you watch this back, Evan C. even, Robbie Keneally, Trayton Lapsovich, anybody in this race, if you want your number on the broadcast beside your name, contact us. One of the links down below, facebook.com, probably the best of the bunch. Or you can email me directly at andrew@pitstoptv.com. Lap 12 wrapping up here. And the field rolls on by. All 15 cars still running, all spread out by about 5 seconds on the racetrack. As you take a look at everybody's single file. And Zach, this is exactly what you expect from Langley Speedway as well. Guys just get single file right around the bottom until eventually tires start to wear out.
Yeah, and Andrew, we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about how Ryan Kuhn was just so dominant so far throughout the season, and nobody's really been able to challenge him too much. But Evan C. has been holding solid around 0.2 a second per lap, just sitting right there behind Kuhn and just waiting for something to happen, or even just trying to find a way that he can take advantage. He is very, very close to the back bumper coming through 3 and 4 here. He's riding on board. You can see just how much he's turning the wheel, just trying to make sure that car stays on the ground underneath him. And watch those left side tires, even from Ryan Kuhn. They are just on that yellow line, just trying to make sure they can do whatever they can to get this car to rotate without having to push too much wheel in it. And he's just staying right there on his bumper and trying to see if he can make something happen. One
thing to take note of here is the amount of offset in Evan C.'s wheel. You can see the paint at the top of the wheel, or the tape around the top of the wheel anyways, is pretty much vertical down the straightaways, but that car is still turning left because the straightaways here are so short. A lot of offset, and that can be tricky to work with at a place like Langley. Really be tricky to work with at all. Sometimes that offset can actually kind of be deceiving. You kind of forget where you are in the wheel at times. At least I find myself doing that. So I like to run with the wheel pretty much true to where it is. I don't like a whole lot of offset, but clearly it's working for Evan C., and I'm sure a lot of these guys are doing that so they don't have to crank the wheel so much even on the straightaways, and certainly less in the corners then as well. It's working for car 33. He's all over Ryan Kuhn. And I mentioned, you kind of touched on it, I mentioned Ryan Kuhn has got this win in the bag. No Alex McCullum in the field, no Landon Rapp. Evan C. is making it a lot more difficult than we thought.
Oh yeah, he is absolutely rolling. I was watching practice and qualifying beforehand, and I saw Evan C. was absolutely still trying to really rip it around. He was top of the board for a little bit and just holding pace with a lot of these guys, and there were a few others who were quite up there as well. Lapsovich and Hazlitt, those guys were all quick, but we can see here now, even looking at the ticker, it's just C and Kuhn right now, and everybody else is almost a full second behind.
There are some battles further back in the field. Jackson Lewis, David Lamb battling that time through as here comes, the number 88, Tyler Cox, straight on through in turn number 1. Goes right on into the 8th position there, passing David Lamb big time through turn 1. And follows the number 7 of Jackson Lewis on through. Jackson Lewis, that's new paint for his number 7 car as he now works out of the RKM stable. I don't see many EPI drivers in this race. I think a lot of them focusing on Legends this week. It'd be nice to see more. I'm sure we'll see a lot this week. I know Tyler Payne was talking about focusing on, of course, Langley being one of their home tracks, really to most everybody at EPI, whether it's Tyler or even Alex McCullum out of the shop. But I'm kind of surprised, again, no Alex McCullum in this race. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult as the week goes on to get max points for car number 1. But up front, a nice battle at your top 2 as we approach halfway, Zach. Lap 25, now 50. This next time by the flag stand, officially halfway in this race.
Yeah, and just looking on down the field, everyone's just, for the most part, single file out. Not too many battles going on. I mean, you can see Clemens moves up into the 10th spot, and he's working on David Lamb in the 9th position. Just trying to make as many spots up as he possibly can. C has been holding pretty solid right behind Kuhn, and everyone else is just trying to, for the most part, really be patient, and that's kind of surprising to say in such short late model stock car races. But here we go, a little bit of a move right here, little bit of contact, so close on the quarter panel. Aaron Plemons still sticking his nose in there. David Lamb in the wall just a little bit, but Aaron Plemons is going to clear and take that 9th place away as David Lamb continues to drop down through this field.
David started 2nd and has fallen back to 10th position very quickly. It's only lap 28. And we still have plenty of racing to go here at Langley. Plenty of spots behind him, I think, are going to go by. This is not looking great for car 09, at least not in this first race of the week. Hopefully he can change things later on. But here's a big move. Jackson Lewis to the inside of Trayton Lapsevich, and that's actually relatively surprising to me. Trayton, a lot of short track experience in the NASCAR Pennies Series, and of course a lot of time here in iRacing as well. Very surprising, honestly, to see Lapsevich just lose that spot that easily, but I think he also recognizes where things are at in the run. Of course, we're 30 laps in, tires are wearing out, you're starting to see comers and goers, and the comers late in the race, they don't want to have to fight, and the goers at this point, they don't want to have to get themselves caught up in a fight, they don't want to get themselves crashed potentially.
Or just wear their tires out any more than they've already been. It's like you said, we're 31 laps into this run, coming to 32 next time around. Tires are going to be a main thing here now, as you still got Evan C. just trying to find a way around Ryan Kuhn. I mean, at this point, Andrew, do we see a little bit of a bumper? C is the closest he's been all race, but at the same time, does he see a clean way to pass Ryan Kuhn for this win?
I mentioned that in my intro, didn't I? This is one of the most difficult tracks in iRacing to pass cleanly at. And you can see why. It's flat. There's really no banking to use to get in deeper. If you get in deep here at Langley, you're going up. You're simply going up the racetrack towards the wall. It's really not even up. You're just going over further, a lane or two to the outside, and that's not where you want to be in a place like Langley. When it is this flat, you've got to be right around the bottom side of the racetrack. You've got to cut as much around the corner as you can, and you're seeing these guys do that up front. Evan C., though, working right on the back end of the number 72 of Ryan Kuhn. Of course, the namesake of RKM. They're showing up strong this week. I'm sure the EPI by the shot program is going to be tough as well. 15 laps to go, though. And we got a problem. David Lamb around on the front stretch. And unfortunately, well, I called it, I guess. A lot more spots went by, but not the way we wanted to see it. Didn't want to see it at all, but
I think you saw maybe about a lap or two ago there, Evan C. was like right on the back bumper, kind of just like that. Just trying to find a way around Ryan Kuhn, but looking back here, seeing what happened to David Lamb.
Yeah, just a quick look at it here for car 09. And here is the issue. Loose on his own up out of the corner. That is going to be a tough one for him to swallow.
Yeah, just probably picked up the gas a little too soon, and it just ended up stepping around on, or like we've been talking about, tires wearing out. It's something that tends to happen. The car just tends to get a lot more loose as the tires wear out, and it makes it a lot more difficult to control. And looking back on the leaders, we are coming up on 10 laps to go here pretty soon. We're on 11 to go this time by, as looks like Lewis has gotten by Keneally for the 5th place.
He just did, and there was some creaking in the background that I heard. I think these two cars might have just gotten together. Maybe Keneally got the fence or something. Somebody made contact somewhere on the racetrack, and I think it might have been those two, as there's battles popping up as we approach 10 laps to go. It's 10 to go this time by Evan C. Much lower that time at a 4. Ryan Kuhn, he was out there that time out of the corner. Are maybe the tires on the 33 car a little better at this point in the run? That would be surprising to me.
It would be very surprising. We've seen Ryan Kuhn be able to manage tires very, very well, but like we've been talking about, this is the closest he's been all race. He's been all over the back bumper a few laps now. Look at how close he gets coming off of exit. Ryan Kuhn seems to have that corner exit speed, but through the center of the corner, Evan C. seems to be the faster car. And look at them, they seem like they're almost stepping out turn 4, and Ryan Kuhn, you can see how much he's putting wheel into it. Not that much, but look at the overcorrect coming off the corner. He is trying to hang on to those tires and make sure that this car is still fast for these last 7 laps coming to the line. And I don't know, Andrew, this is going to be super, super close if you ask me.
So we're on the driver's eye camera with Ryan Kuhn right now. Let's flip back to Evan C, and you can see the difference, although you can see Evan C has fallen back a good bit the last lap or so. Gave up a 10th or thereabouts to the 72 car, starting to head the wrong direction. He might have gotten there a little too early, might have showed his hand just a little too quick there as Jackson Lewis gets by Josh Cottle. This for the race win, though. 5 laps to go. Ryan Kuhn, Evan C, 5 laps at Langley Speedway, and it's a throwdown.
They are just still going at it, and you know, you and I, Andrew, we've both seen classic short track racing where it's a flat track and you can't find a way around the outside. The only way you can do something is just roll off the brake a little bit, get to that bumper. Look at C, he gets so close right there. He's going to try to make a move at some point. I know it's going to happen. We both can see it coming. The only question is, when does he do it, as they are still so close together. We're coming up on 3 laps to go.
That was a real cool view the last time through. You can really see how sideways these guys are getting in the center of the corner. 3 laps to go. Evan C. falling back ever so slightly once again. And Ryan Kuhn, I think, is getting a little more comfortable. As these laps go by, 2 things become more true. There's fewer opportunities for Evan C., but also that last opportunity on lap 50 is going to matter a whole lot more, because Evan really is going to have to make the most of that final lap here at Langley Speedway. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, you can just see how much he's falling back now. The only way he's going to be able to make something happen is if he can throw it down into the corner, but he just keeps losing and losing. He's close here, though. White flag in the air presented by Whiplash Sim Cams.
The rest of the field in the background. 2 more corners to go at Langley Speedway. It's just not going to happen today for Evan C. Ryan Kuhn going to pick up another big-time win in the late models on iRacing. Across the line there, it takes a big one after 50 laps. You can see some battles of the line. Everybody laying in the throttle, drifting across the line. That's how you like to see it here at Langley Speedway. Ryan Kuhn, though, going to victory lane. Not a surprise at all. This guy has got this late model stock car figured out, and there's just nobody bringing the heat quite like car 72 right now.
He is just one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, and it looks to me that he's going to be extending his points lead throughout the rest of the week if he keeps up driving like this. And we've still got many, many weeks left to go in the season, but he's already shown that he is the dominant force to be reckoned with.
Unofficial results from Langley Speedway. I don't anticipate any changes, but Ryan Kuhn up top, car 72 over Evan C. And you can see Ryan Kuhn scored as car number 1. He's got the top I rating in the field, and it makes sense when you see performance like that led every single lap once again here in the iRacing Cars Late Model Stock Tour. Evan C. goes second, Justin Haslett third. Strong run out of him. We didn't talk much about Justin, but I do want to highlight Haslett. He has been getting better and better as these weeks go by, and admittedly, I think this was a rare opportunity for him where a couple of the other big guys, Landon Rapp, Alex McCullum, and even Timmy Holmes, Michael Bumgarner, drivers we've seen in the front this season, were not in this race. Haslett had an opportunity to shine, only a couple of seconds off the leaders after a race like that, and he hung with those guys for about 20 laps or so. Solid run for Justin Haslett in car 9. Jackson Lewis really came through there at the end, had a lot of speed late in this race, ends up 4th. Robbie Keneally lost a spot there, falls to 5th. Josh Cottle, really solid stuff out of that number 3 car. 6th place tonight. Drayton Lapsevich falls a couple of spots to 7th. Tyler Cox there in 8th. Aaron Plemons 9th. And Devin Landry hangs on for a top 10.
And then rolling through the rest of the field, the last 5 drivers, Josh Parrish finishing car number 11 in the 11th spot. Casey Beatty in 12th. Logan Powers and Justin Crow in the 13th and 14th position. And unfortunately, the only car to DNF out of this race, David Lamb, after falling back all the way through the field, he ends up in 15th. And Andrew, I mean, that was quite the clean race. I expected a little bit more, but honestly, I'm quite pleased with how everything went through. Looking through the rest of the season, I'm excited for next week.
Very cut and dry. Sometimes races are that way. April 10th, very quick and cut and dry race here for Langley Speedway. These drivers kept to themselves, and that's a good thing. You know, we talk about, of course, drama on a short track, these guys using the bumper potentially. We didn't see that tonight, but that's okay. Clean racing certainly has a place on short tracks, and we're seeing a lot of respect this season out of this series. There have been a few detours. I think North Wilkesboro stands out to me with that turn 4 incident we saw early on in that race, but otherwise, man, as I think the novelty of this car wears off a little bit, Zach, we're seeing the hardcore late model guys keep returning week after week, and I think the big difference was between Wilkesboro and Vegas. That 1 week, from March 20th to March 27th, you saw all the guys that were just running the car for the hype leave, and all the guys that were running the car for the championship stay, and the quality of racing has skyrocketed since then. Everybody is racing with respect out here, and these are the kind of storylines, the kind of races we want to see more of on iRacing. That's why I'm so thankful that Tyler Payne and everybody at EPI has us along for this series in particular, because as this series goes on and the respect gets stronger, we're going to see more and more of that classic short track racing where you can rub on guys, but you're also not going to crash it up every lap.
Absolutely, and respect on the short track is one of the biggest things that I love to see about the short track racing community. You know, you got a lot of guys out here that are just not really gonna do the nice thing and not run the dude over in front of him, or just, I mean, just straight up wreck him. It's a common thing we all seen when it comes to short track racing, but I mean, just the amount of respect that we've seen so far out of these guys that just love running the late model stock car is just so great. And, you know, rolling forward, especially tracks like Southern National, where it's so easy to just get into somebody, or something like Martinsville, where it's so hard to pass on the outside, kind of like how it is here at Langley. It's just, it's so great just to see how everyone's been taking to the new late model stock car and just being able to, you know, just have a good, friendly environment to race in.
Take a look there at the rest of this season's schedule for the new iRacing Cars Late Model Stock Tour. And, you know, this broadcast not at all endorsed by the Cars Tour, but this is now the official series, the official video game of the Cars Tour. So it is pretty cool that the Cars Tour is getting involved with this late model stock car and iRacing. And of course, we want to reflect that as the series branding on the sim has changed. We want to bring that into the broadcast as well because, well, it looks cool, first of all, but secondly, the Cars Tour is doing a whole lot here with iRacing and this involvement. That said, I do want to mention there is an outdated logo there that will be fixed for future broadcasts. But yes, you can see Monday, still the iRacing Late Model Tour logo there. That'll be changed up for following rounds, following broadcasts here on Pits.tv. But you can also see just the rest of upcoming broadcasts here on the channel. Wednesday night rather. We have got action from Martinsville Speedway, I think, during the day. It could be under the lights. I'm actually not sure just yet, so we'll find out on Wednesday evening when Emerson Arden and Gary Weaver take you through the action. That will be my beautiful girlfriend, Kayla Rondo's birthday, and I will not be there, Zach, very unfortunately. But I know Emerson and Gary will have that broadcast in good hands. Martinsville Speedway, April 12th, classic short track racing there with some of the best drivers on the sim, some of the most exciting drivers to watch, frankly. Corey Heim won last week at Phoenix Raceway, finally got that first win of the season, so he's into the playoffs. And next week, the playoff cutoff race to set our field of 12 drivers that will compete for a championship in this Untitled Friend League Elite Series season. Then Sunday afternoon, actually, at 1:30 Eastern, we go over to Spain under the lights, Zach. So if we race during the day at Martinsville and under the lights at Barcelona, something is a little bit weird, but we are racing under the lights Sunday afternoon over in Spain with the SimPit Road Racing, the SimPit Radical Series, actually, with that old Radical SR8, the old car. We might have an SR10 series coming to the channel soon, who knows, but the old Radical SR8. It's been a lot of fun so far through 2 rounds. We carry on there Sunday, and then Monday, of course, we wrap back around into a brand new broadcast week with these late model stock cars at Southern National, and that's got to be one of the best tracks, I think, on this schedule, Zach. Southern National, such high banking and high speeds. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a shorter version of Bristol. I mean, it's only about 50 minutes from my house, too. I love going down there, seeing a lot of good racing at Southern National. It's a great track, and just so many great things about it, really. Not just the track itself, just it produces great racing, especially with these late model stock cars. It's just if you have not gone to Southern National, please do circle that on your calendar. Car Store goes there. There's a lot of NASCAR Weekly Series races that goes on there. They've got a lot of good
Thanksgiving
stuff for the
Classic.
short track. Thanksgiving Classic. It's a big late model stock car race. Just a lot more just local series as well. They've got Bandoleros, Legend cars. I haven't had the opportunity to race there myself, but I hope to someday. They've got any
They'll mix
cars,
it up with
cars.
EPI driver Joel Smith.
Oh yeah, I know Joel has been to Southern National quite a few times, and so many great places.
And Southern National Victory Lane.
Yeah, and Southern National Victory Lane. Just so many great places to race a legend car, and so many great places to watch great racing on. Pit Stop TV being one of them, and so many great places to follow along. Facebook.com/PitStopTV, Twitter.com/PitStopTV_, Instagram.com/Pit_Stop_TV, and then YouTube.com/PitStopTV1. And we also stream on Twitch as well. So our YouTube broadcasts are also being seen on Twitch as well. And, just great places to catch all this action. And, we've got more late model stock car racing coming to you next Monday, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen when these cars roll into Southern National.
It will definitely one to watch, and we'll take a quick look over all, I guess, schedules for, I guess, the most relevant ones here on the channel anyways, the ones we were talking about, of course, for the UFL, Martinsville, the Martinsville 200 coming up this week, the final race of the regular season, then Talladega, April 19th, you can see from there, North Wilkesboro, Kansas, and Charlotte, a jam-packed, action-packed playoffs there of just 4 races. The first 3 of those, Talladega, North Wilkesboro, and Kansas, are all one round. Then we eliminate down to 4 drivers for a season finale 150 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That'll be a lot of fun there on May 10th. Exactly 1 month from now, we're crowning a champion there in the UFL Elite Series. And, well, of course, on Sunday afternoons, the Sim Pit Road Racing Series and Pit Radical Series is finally back on the channel. We go to Spain this week, Bathurst the following week on April 23rd, then Okayama in Japan on April 30th. May 7th, we go, well, we stay in Japan, actually. We go to Suzuka Circuit for round number 6. Then Long Beach, Canada, Elkhart Lake, and Brazil for that season. We round things off on June 11th at Interlagos after 10 rounds of racing. And, well, right back here with this EPI late model stock schedule. Things are getting interesting. I'm excited, certainly, for next week at Southern National, Martinsville, Hickory, really 4 solid late model stock tracks in a row, and then things kind of change up a little bit at Linear Raceplex, New Smyrna, Nashville, and USA, but a lot of really solid tracks, and I don't have all details to just give out, but we've got more late model stock racing coming to the channel on Pit Stop TV very, very soon. Keep an eye out for Tuesday evenings, later in the evening. But keep an eye out on Pit Stop TV, again, on the aforementioned social media links. In fact, we can put those up one more time. We have more late model stock racing coming to the channel, so if you like what you see, stick around. We've got more happening. Later this month, we have a new series starting. I'll just leave it there. And, Zach, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And if you're not just interested in late model stock cars and you just want to be more involved with the short track community on iRacing, we also have a league that we are trying to get started with legend cars. We've got a little bit of stuff in the works. Not all the details are finalized just yet, but hopefully we'll have some more stuff to announce here pretty soon. And we've got a lot of good hands just trying to work on it. We've got most of us over here at Pit Stop TV. We've got a couple of people who are involved with the Legends community, drivers like myself, setup builders, everyone who's trying to put a hand on it. And
EPI driver Joel Smith.
Absolutely. EPI driver Joel Smith, EPI driver Tyler Payne. A lot of guys who are just super involved with legend cars and short track racing community on iRacing, and guys who just want to see it flourish. And if you're ever interested, the Whiplash Racing League is available to sign up for on iRacing. And we've got a Discord, we've got an iRacing Discord that you can join for not just legend cars, for just so much to be involved with in the short track community, not just on iRacing, but in real life in general. If you're just an avid racer, just come talk to us, just be involved, and we've got a lot more stuff that you might be able to just find enjoyment with.
Well, there you go. Ryan Kuhn wraps things up one more time here from the virtual Langley Speedway. Thanks so much for joining us. Zach, thanks for being here once again, and can't wait to see you guys next week for, I had to think about it, Southern National Motorsports Park in Lucama, North Carolina. That's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, we'll see you Wednesday evening as the Untitled Friend League goes to Martinsville Speedway for round 8 of 12 and the final the final round of the regular season before we set a playoff grid of just 12 drivers to fight it out for a championship. We will see you Wednesday evening, Martinsville. Be there here on Pit Stop TV.